Okay, we'll vote with that.
Thank you. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Watch how fast this goes.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Gillespie?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Comprehensive plan number 8, we're going to continue that to another. I'm just going to continue that.
Continue to a date certain, Mr. President, because the public
Do you have
hearing.
anything?
Sure. Want to continue to a date? Do it next. Do it, Tom. You want to do that at the next meeting?
What's that?
December 10th?
3rd. December 3rd.
Or you can do 2 weeks after that.
2 weeks after.
All right.
December 17th.
That's fine.
Motion to continue to December, 17th. Motion second?
Second.
Yes, roll call.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Gillespie?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes. Smithfield Town Council sitting as the Board of License Commissioners. Now, do we have that? Go down to-
No, I think we do it all at once, right?
Yep.
As listed.
You want the list?
I can't hold on.
Again.
Like the category. Let me-
As presented.
Why don't we do this like consent agenda? Does anybody want to go now? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this just the same way we do the consent agenda. If anybody has any, the motion is to approve it in its entirety unless anybody has any specific licenses that they would like to be pulled out for further discussion.
I'm accusing myself of it.
Okay. Anyone have any going through these? Nope. Have any that they want to pull out? Okay, motion to approve in its entirety then? Second?
Second.
Sorry, who was it?
I-
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Gillespie?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes. Discussion by council, vote of action on consent agenda. All items listed in this section are considered in one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless the council so requests. Does anyone have anything that they would like to pull from the consent agenda for further discussion? Hearing none, motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So,
Second.
Second, roll call.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara? Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Gillespie?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes. Old business, discussion by council vote of action on update by municipal building review task force. Mr. Vatney, did you want to add anything on this tonight, or building review task force, you want to?
No update.
No updates. Okay.
Mr. President,
Yes.
B, discussion by council voter other action on motor vehicle registration. Probably speaking for Ms. O'Hara as well. We can just continue this on our next meeting.
Yeah, I mean, the background is going to get that out of the way.
Okay. New business, discussion by council other action on payment requisition number 3 for the Parkview Drive and Edward Avenue Sewer Project. Where is it? Okay.
Mr. President, asked for approval of requisition number 3 to Monticello Construction in the amount of $190,656.28.
And was this part of the, this isn't any of the add-ons, this is part of the agreement, the initial?
Simply the unit price, continuation of the unit prices as per the original contract bid.
But what I'm asking though is though, is this, we asking for more, this is a greater number than,
Well, again, we're into a unit price contract that is based on actual work that takes place. It's not and the engineer's original estimate. We have the engineer with us tonight for our questions, but this has been reviewed by the engineer, by our sewer department, as well as by the sewer commission, and it is consistent with the contract.
right, but my concern is, and I probably, I'm a resident there, so I have more of a concern, is this thing just keeps going up and up and up. And we were originally told that if this is too expensive, if this is too pricey, it costs too much money, it's not worth it for the residents, we're not going to do the project. So we got a price to do the project, and all of a sudden, we're way beyond that already, and this is, it just keeps going up.
Well, what you're approving tonight is not beyond the contract. There is cost in here that is beyond expectation as it relates to rock. That would be it. We have to pay for the rock as it's found. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, but didn't we have drilling done, and we drilled 2 holes, top and bottom, is what I heard?
Well, if we're going to go on what you heard, we'll be here all night.
Well,
But
tell me the truth then.
The engineer did do borings along Parkview as well as Edward Avenue. The rock in Parkview Drive was not identified. There was substantial rock in Parkview Drive. There is rock in Edward Avenue also that was expected. As I understand it at this point, that rock also exceeded the estimate by the engineer.
But like, didn't someone tell me that there was 1 hole that drilled at the bottom and 1 at the top?
They went on both sides of the rock. They did not hit it on Parkview, correct?
And yeah.
That happens.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you, I'm just saying, why wouldn't you drill like 4 holes, so at least you go, you know, 1 every quarter, so you kind of get a better feeling?
They did do multiple holes along Parkview Drive. Russ, were there at least 4 on Parkview Drive?
Yes, yeah.
And another 4 on Edward?
Even I think maybe 5 of them.
It's not just 2 holes.
Well, I was told 2 holes, that's why I'm asking. You can tell me 5, I'll feel better.
Well, let me ask this: where we are now with the price, if we would have been here from day one, suppose we were going to end up with this price, with all the add-ons, bottom line, end of the day, what we end up paying. If we would have known going in that this was going to be how much that this job was going to cost, would this have been something that we said, yeah, it's a good idea, let's go forward with it?
No.
I would, yes. You're still well below the metric that I offered to folks that you're going to be less for a sewer extension that provides an assessment that's less than 10% of the value of the homes. Yes, it's a bargain. I'd still stay with that. Is this disappointing? Yes, it is, and for a whole host of reasons. But it is what it is. We can't change it at this point. The rock is what it is. It's the prices were competitively bid. Fortunately, this rock price, you know, in a competitive bid such as this, there can be circumstances where one price is low and another price is high, and this is not the case. This contractor offered the best price for rock removal. So we got fortunate in that circumstance for the actual condition that we have. It is what it is.
I can't go jogging down my street without somebody stopping me, asking me how much this is going to cost, and then ask them why it's getting so expensive.
Well, I don't know what they have for numbers, but yeah, are there additional costs? Yes. And the rock is the most substantial of those costs.
But did we have rock in all those holes, or did we miss all the rock?
No,
We're
we
missing
did,
all the rock.
we hit rock, the rock was estimated to exist, or known to exist on Edward Avenue, and it was part of the estimate. I think the number I heard at our sewer meeting was about 10% beyond that quantity estimate. Just, again, is what it is. Find it, you measure it. Russ has been out there, Russ Carpenter's been out there measuring the rock removal. Another issue that we had was bad fill material. A lot of the material that was under Parkview Drive could not be put back in place. It was a crummy road from the very beginning. Stumps and a lot of rock that never should have been there. You don't see that when you walk on the road. When you dig the hole, you see it all. So that material had to be disposed, and clean fill material, compactable fill material had to be brought in.
Well, I just know that all my neighbors and myself are just concerned that the skyrocketing price of this project.
And because the road was put in with stumps and everything else, they have to eat the cost because they live on the road.
Well, how we deal with the final cost when we have all of those final costs is another day. The water line relocation, the sewer commission has recommended that a piece of that be borne by the water department. And so there are options that we can pursue. When we have all of the cards before us, I would suggest to you that that's not today.
Yeah. Well, I won't be here, but I would just say, because the road was done poorly from the beginning and accepted, why should these residents have to put new fill in, pay for stumps and everything else? That should be on the town for having the road like that. That should never happen. I'm done.
Anyone else have anything to add? Any questions? All right, discussion. Discussion by Councilor other action on payment requisition.
Very good. Oh, I'm sorry.
So we're looking for a motion to approve. That's we have a motion to approve? Yes, we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
No.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Zalinski?
No.
Mr. Biragad.
No? Well, it can't, it's just sitting out there, his truck's sitting out there with big holes in my street.
So you just rejected the payment? Okay.
I didn't get
Hang on,
That's cool.
I didn't reject it. I thought you said
There's three.
You said yes.
also, I for the payment. No.
You're good. You voted for the payment.
Okay, you said I rejected it.
So, no, as a council, three of them voted no. So now we've got, those that voted in the affirmative, I'm going to bring it back up to reconsider this.
You want to make a motion to reconsider?
Yes, I am, Mr. President, making a motion to reconsider.
Second motion.
You can't.
I can't.
Well, you can. Actually, you can. You can, yeah.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to reconsider and second. Roll call.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
No.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Zalinski?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad.
I'll vote to reconsider, but that doesn't mean I'm voting. That's just to reconsider.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you have another motion
Did you vote? Yes?
on the reconsideration?
Yeah, okay. So I'll make the same motion to approve the payment of requisition number 3 for Park Drive and Edwards Avenue Sewer Project. That's it.
Same motion. Is there a second?
Second?
Roll call.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
No.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Swansky?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad.
No. Thank you, passes. Discussion by council vote on action and continuation of the power contracts for road construction, road reconstruction. This is a request for authorization. Mrs. Zowski?
Yes, to find the document. What you have before you is a recommendation to engage, continue the contract that was first signed with Power Corporation back in 2015 for the original work on the bond project, wherein 7 miles of road were done, though many more miles were planned and there was insufficient funds. We have funds accumulated to be able to continue that work. PAR did the original design, and on each of these streets has done at least the prepared plans to 75%. We need them to complete the plans on the list of roads that are included in the contract, to get them to 100% so that we can go out to bid in the spring and get those streets upgraded as well. I recommend approval and authorization to sign.
Take a motion for approval and authorize the administrator to sign the power contract.
Second?
Roll call.
Can I ask a question? It's $58,000 for them to design 2 miles of road?
To finish the design, correct.
Wow.
Well, excuse me, that also includes the supervision of the construction.
21 hours.
No. With the expectation, we will be working with that to be able to reallocate those hours to get full-time supervision in the field.
I have a question, and I'm getting a little forgetful. So we got Park Drive and Edward Avenue, new roads. Is this where we're having the water and sewer issues now?
Yeah.
Yes.
So why?
That was the reason that sewers were considered, if you recall, that Parkview and Edward were considered to be, were in the list of roads to be considered for repaving. And the sewer department said, hey, wait a minute, folks, if you're going to repave those, we should be putting sewer in them first. And that is what happened, and they are, those 2 streets are on this list to finish and build.
Mr. President, you need to make a motion.
Yeah, I was just about to do that. Thanks.
Second?
We have a motion to extend to 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Second.
We have a second by Ms. O'Hara. Roll call.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Swansky?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes. Discussion by council vote of other action on appointment to the budget committee.
Do we vote?
We didn't vote on
We
the part.
voted on
Oh, I'm sorry. We did have a motion and a second on that, so just roll call, please.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
No.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Swansky?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
Thank you.
Discussion by council vote on other action on appointment to the budget committee. I did have a, do you want to,
If I might, I pursued a contacted individual, Jim Rowe, who was a longtime resident of town. He's a retired CFO of a Moore company in Westerly. He also is educated as in the accounting field, and also serves on one of the state's larger credit union boards. I think he'll be a great addition to our, a great performer on our budget committee if we so choose.
I'll make a motion to add nominate Mr. Rowe to the budget committee.
I second the motion.
Any further discussion? Roll call?
before that, term ended, which one?
Which one?
Sign them up for the longest one we have.
Before the 19th.
Liz Martin,
It was like 12 days.
she does not want to be involved.
Right. The vote was on, would you please, or? Thank God.
Hey, Phil,
You staying on?
staying on the budget committee?
Yeah, the 12/119. Term to expire 12/119.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mr. McGee?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Swansky?
Yes.
Mr. Biragad?
Yes. Discussion by council vote of other action on award of bid for 2 police vehicles. Mr. Jesus.
Oh. I say one last
I
time,
always
did
get
it?
Well, he's every time.
You know, did I ever tell you, did I ever tell you why I say that all the time?
Yeah, because you got a friend.
Not a friend.
Oh.
There was a guy that I kept coming across in court all the time.
Oh, that's even worse.
Somebody who you don't want as a friend.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I had this, I'll never forget his name because I was very young at the time and he left quite an impression on me as like
Oh, that's
really
really
bad
bad.
guy. So, anyway,
All right, so this is to purchase 2 police SUVs. We had put in the capital $83,042, and the bids came in a little higher. So they're going to use the police cruiser detail funds for the remainder of $7,465.
How much do they have in that detail fund? Is there enough to purchase one of the vehicles?
I think, I.
No, it's okay.
They're getting an